I made that one public. Oops. Yikes. Oh well, we're publicly live on YouTube. Great.
Hey, that's okay. Exposure, right?
Exposure, exactly. All right, we're gonna paste this link in. To chat. You think you could post this for us, Angela?
Sure.
There's the link. Okay. Let's see if I get sound. Oh, I do have sounds. Good. You guys hear that? Oh, wait.
I don't hear anything but you.
How about this?
Very low.
Very low?
How you doing, Angela?
I'm good.
Good.
Tired. It's been a long week.
Agreed.
What about you?
I'm good.
Good.
Glad it's Friday.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Good. No? What are we supposed to be hearing? I like hear something very distant, but I can't make out what it is.
Yeah, the piano sounds way far away. That's a little.
There we go.
It's a little better, yeah. I hear it well enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Who am I hearing? Is that Justice?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't
I think I heard-
we don't have a webcam. We left it somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
Your
Are y'all
audio
both
is
here?
awesome.
Yeah.
So you hear that? Is that loud enough in your ears, Angela? Because I can turn it up.
I mean, it's good enough. Yeah. If I'm like having to sing or anything with that, I definitely won't be able to hear it. I don't know. What the?
Is
Yeah,
that
that's good. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
It's about half what it normally
Like the
is.
first thing is going to be on my end because let me share my screen. So you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to listen to what we've got so far. All right, so we're going to take a listen. And your track should be in here. Let me know if this is the most updated vocal for you, because you'll hear my music, and the music right now is going to be off. That's going to be what I need to fix right now.
Okay.
But tell me if this is the most current version.
I know what it's like to live in darkness. Had every part of me strapped in a harness. Head underwater, avoiding the altar. Running from the Father and numbing the pain. Following behind in the footsteps of Cain. Cast out out tonight, cursing at God, broken down and flying. Broken down and flying.
Is that the most current?
I think. I feel like it is, yes. It sounded really clear, so I feel like that is. It's sad that I can't really tell you yes or no.
Well, so basically, for those of you guys who don't remember,
Lyrically, I think that's right, but that's the part I'm struggling with. I'm like, was that the new version? I don't know.
Well, if we need to change it, we certainly can. So basically, what I tasked Angela to do, guys, is our verses were not conforming to like a 4-bar or 8-bar phrase, which is for songwriters, writing to 4 bars or 8 bars is or 12. And there's exceptions to this, of course, but that's a pretty good vantage point. Whether it's a compressor or whether it's writing in measures, that 4, 8, 12, 16, those are really good numbers to aim for. Now, we always have exceptions. Sometimes an artist will throw in a 2-bar phrase randomly or whatever, but we like nice round off numbers. So 4-bar phrases for a pre-chorus or something like that, or verses. So we basically have, and I'm going to make sure my markers are good. Sorry, I'll try to keep the microphone where I am. We're going to count off these bars. That's 1. Wait, intro. Let's go to the verse.
I know what it's
Bar.
like to live in darkness.
Second bar.
Had every part of me strapped in a harness.
Third bar.
Head underwater, avoiding the altar. Running from the Father and numbing the pain.
Okay, so that is.
Hold on, I don't know if that's. I'm
Is that it?
struggling. Did I screw that up? And my kids took my phone. Let me pull up my notes real quick.
Pull up your notes. We can. This was pulled from the satellite session, so I should be pulling that audio straight from whatever your last recording was.
Play it one more time for me. I'm sorry. I just gotta follow along. I know what it's like to live in darkness. Had every part of me strapped in a harness. Head underwater, avoiding the altar. Running from the Father and numbing the pain. Following behind in the footsteps of Cain. Cast out tonight, cursing at God. Broken down and fly. Okay, yeah. Broken. That's good. Broken down and fly.
Good deal. Okay, so do you recall your original lyrics?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, because what I almost feel like, because we've got a 4-bar phrase before what feels like the pre-chorus. Da-na-na-na. Okay, wait, I know what it is. Hang on, let me listen to this. I'm going to mute the music so I don't get thrown off. Actually, I can solo you.
I know what it's like to live in darkness. Had every part of me strapped in a harness. Head underwater, avoiding the altar. Running from the Father and numbing the pain. Following behind in the footsteps of Cain. Cast out tonight, cursing at God. Broken down and flying. Broken down and flying. So I think what we discussed was 12. I don't have my notes.
Yes, that's right. So,
Here they are. Following behind in the footsteps of Cain.
and what we've got right now is 8. So what I would like, because it sounds like what we have is a verse and a pre-chorus, and how I'm defining
Correct.
melodically.
That's what that was.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, verse, and then the pre-chorus. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, footsteps of Cain. That one. Okay. So what I want to do is grab from our original lyrics, because I need 4 more bars on the verse before we get to that. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. So go back to your original lyrics and just sing the song as it originally was, and let's see if we can pick up lyrically something to
Parts.
fill that
Okay.
part.
Let me think about this. You're really testing me today.
I am.
Okay. Let me just sing it and then I'll see if it comes back to me.
Okay.
I know what it's like to live in darkness. Had every part of me strapped in a harness. Head underwater. Head underwater, avoiding the altar. There was one more line in there. Head underwater.
I guess what I
Water
feel like,
outside.
if my memory serves me,
Crap.
da na 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 na, and in the pain. I feel like then it went back to da 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 da. Did you hear?
Yeah.
Did it do
Yeah,
that?
but I changed. That's what you were wanting me to do, so that's why I changed it to this version. Prior, it was a lot longer.
Right. So we
And it
want to
took-
tap in. So yeah. So what we want to do is tap into some of those old lyrics to get another round of. Let me get my piano up here.
Head underwater, avoiding the altar. There was some. What was the line in between there?
Well,
Head
it's not
underwater.
that. It's not necessarily there.
That's where there was extra lines, is in that part. Da 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 da.
So
Like
you-
I had
yeah.
that. That was more repetitive than it is now.
Gotcha. So maybe we could just grab from some of those lyrics because let me show you.
Or I can just write new ones, or you can help me write new ones.
Right. So
Or Jeff, you can help me.
yeah, exactly. Like let's get involved and like. But so basically, here's what I'm feeling melodically.
Here, I'm gonna pop the lyrics into the chat.
See how that repeats?
Yeah, that's how I had it before. Gosh, why can't I remember though what it sounded like?
I remember you having a little bit more. Numb in the pain, but then I remember it going back to
Yeah.
before going to the following the footsteps of Cain.
Oh, I guess I can't access the chat, huh?
Not old. I don't think old meeting chats. Did you write your lyrics down anywhere?
Yeah, I was gonna try to put them into the chat for Zoom so y'all could see them, but
So you have like
since
the
you're
original,
sharing the screen.
You have the original lyrics.
No, I deleted the lines, guys.
All
I
right.
had them saved for the
Version.
longest time, but ugh. I know. I'm really bummed right now.
No, don't be bummed. Don't be bummed. So I bet it'll at least to some degree come back to you.
I was hoping that, but it's not. Like, what is going on here?
Wait a minute. I think I have them. Let me see, because I actually deleted them just a second ago, but I think I.
I know what it's like to live. You know what? I've texted them to somebody.
I'm undoing. I should be able to get these back. I really should. Because I have. Okay, they just showed up. Let me listen to the original ones that I had before.
I know what it's like to live in darkness. Had every part of me strapped in a harness. Head underwater, moving with falter. Moving with falter. The altar, running from the Father.
Yeah. So this is the part
Living in
that's too
pain
long.
and
But then
numb
right here, this is what I
shame.
want.
Following
That.
behind
Oh, no,
in
you
the
didn't.
footsteps of Cain. Cast out to
hang
nod,
on.
cursing at God. Looking for
So we
a
didn't have
plot
something
broken
there.
down and fought. Oh my gosh, my voice has improved.
It has.
Wow.
Look at you.
He's pretty,
You must
that
have a good
I know
voice
for
coach.
sure, but my God is beautiful.
Okay.
Yikes.
Or we did.
Devil is.
Okay, hang on.
That's
It's backing me
painful.
up as-
You're holding on to me. You're bending every knee. All demons have what the enemy meant to
Okay, right here. This is what I need. Maybe we can grab this.
make it work.
Wait.
Works of art, fire burning from the start. Yeah, fire burning from the start.
Right here.
What the enemy meant to destroy me, now God uses all for his glory.
Okay. So we need
Oh,
we need another round of
So that's going to be the next verse.
so that right. So you do you understand what I'm getting at? We need
Correct.
the
I know
first
what you're
4
saying.
bars, we need another 4 bars of lyrics before we go to that pre-chorus. The pre-chorus
That's in that melody. Okay.
that's in that melody, right? So let's just see
Let's see.
what we can. Let's just see what we can. And here, we're gonna utilize.
So here's kind of like, so y'all understand, this is me telling my story. This is like my testimony, okay? So
Yes.
what in my mind when I'm writing this, it's like the verse 1 is talking about when I was like in the darkness, obviously. Verse 2 is like coming out of that, like what it took me to get out, and then the now, like verse 3 is like where I'm at now.
Okay, so here's what I suggest.
If that makes any sense.
Right. So number 1, getting out. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So, in order to do typically what I would say is, because 3 verses is a lot. Usually 2 verses. Now a way that you can do 3 verses is to do 1 verse, 2 verse. Then the next time around you do
like
your
back
third
to
verse.
back.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. But because you have those 2 concepts, maybe it would work. But then again, the problem is now that pre-chorus, because that pre-chorus is in the before.
Right.
So we can't have before, now, before.
Right.
So
But what we could do is
maybe take some of
borrow.
the lyrics from the pre-chorus and reconstruct that
Yeah.
into the melody.
Right.
All right.
Or we can do we can do perhaps pull the 2 lines from verse 2 and then make the pre-chorus somehow work. And like take some lines out, but I don't know. That might be too much work.
And here's, for those of you who use Logic, something that's really handy is when you open this little tab here, you can put notes in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the verse.
Oh, I'm looking at mine, not yours.
Now, of course, what I do on mine's not gonna update on yours. Yours is a completely independent, but you can still access and type in.
I know why I couldn't access the chat because
What's that first line?
I know what it's like to live in darkness.
Okay, next line.
Had every part of me strapped in a harness.
Okay, next line.
Head underwater. Avoiding the altar is the next one. Running from the Father.
This is altar in terms of repentance, not altar in terms of marriage, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Head underwater, avoiding the altar. Next line.
Running from the Father. And numbing the pain.
Okay. All right. So then we have the pre-chorus following something in the footsteps.
Following behind in the footsteps of Cain.
Okay. Next line.
Cast out to nod.
Yeah. Yep.
Cursing at God. Broken down and flawed.
FLAWD.
ED.
Is it flawed as in I have a flaw or
Mm-hmm.
broken? Okay. Is that AE?
ED. Yeah.
Broken down.
Yep.
So what we've basically need is something in between. I know what it's like to live in darkness, had every part of me strapped in a harness, head underwater, avoiding the altar, running from the Father, numbing the pain. Da 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 da. And this is where, of course, this is still part of the darkness story.
Right.
So read to me the lines of the verse 2. Just read them to me, and let's see if there's a pattern there that we
Sure.
can.
What the enemy meant to destroy me, now God uses all for his glory. Out of the desert, dusting off my dirt, clear-headed and alert, on the narrow road, now I'm resting in my Father's abode.
Because if the problem is that everything's working really well in the pre-chorus, and if I try to rewrite that into the verse, then we have to write a pre-chorus. So it's kind of like,
Right.
rather than rewrite two things, let's rewrite one thing. And I'm just trying to think of, is there more to say about
Oh, absolutely.
this?
Oh, he's got more to say. No, I'm just
We
kidding.
have more to say about that.
Yeah, I've never tapped into this with people on a call.
Is this too much?
No. I'm an
this
external
is really
processor, and usually I'm sitting here talking to myself out loud. Yeah. So it's just weird that people are.
Yeah, it's.
So the part I was kind of thinking about, obviously you can see in the lyrics, like my drug addiction, alcoholism.
Okay, so
that's kind of what I was referring to.
There was drug
point.
addiction, alcoholism, substance abuse. Okay,
right.
There was something like, so for instance, what I love artistically, there was a song, and this is an example of like an artistic expression rather than saying, I mean, obviously you're very artistic. I can tell the poetic, you're already using poetic imagery as opposed to just like spelling it out, which I think is
right.
great. There was a line that stuck out to me in an old Stevie Wonder song, and the line was using pharmaceutical extractions. Using pharmaceutical extractions to find their paradise. Whoa! I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it was a good song, but that's a great
deep.
line. The line was better than the song, really. I mean, the song was good. Wasn't one of his best songs, but that was a great poetic way. So,
well, let me go into some of my poems, and let's look here.
See what we can find there.
All right. So Spiritually Tagged it's a poem that I just released out into the metaverse.
Out into the world. That's a good place to start.
Anyways, and this is my story. And I pulled some lyrics for this particular song from this poem. Let's see. So here's a line, but I have a part of this in my chorus. But the devil is pretty, that I know for sure. He promised me the world, knowing that I was pure, plotting and scheming while casting his lure.
And that's the chorus, right?
Some of that is in my chorus, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, that's too poetic. That's not gonna work.
Too poetic music.
Well, it's too much comparison type. Like it was like I'm like nah, it does not work. Let's look. Chainbreaker. I was at the end of my rope, searching the world, left with no hope.
While you do that, I'm going to
This one's kind of like a song. Mm-mm.
I'm writing some stuff down here really quick. We'll see if we can get some lines from our good buddy Chat GPT. And then we can,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I always forget about.
it's a good when you get stuck. I don't like getting stuck. I'm sure you don't either. And having tools to just at least get our minds thinking really helps. I'm feeding it how many syllables I need.
Hmm. Okay. I'm going to paste some of this and
Paste it in. Okay.
see if you can pull anything from any of this.
Pasting it in.
One sec.
You've got some ideas. I can go ahead and paste those in.
Maybe not verbatim, but perhaps we can pull some ideas from this chunk.
There's a tension with writing.
So much.
It's that you're gonna get anything worthwhile. And the answer is always yes, but you have to sit with it and you have to marinate with it. See what we get. See what we come up with.
That's actually really good.
Not half bad. Okay, this right here is not actually bad. Drowning in my sorrows in a bottle's embrace. That's actually not a bad line. It's not bad. That's not bad.
That's too wordy.
It is, but it's. I like the idea.
Seeking solace. And those are all S's with my gap. That's going to sound fabulous. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't like that line. Spirit withered, my soul began to slip. I like that line. Slave to devices. I like this line.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
I like that line too.
Yeah, me too.
Slave to the vices.
Ooh, that next one is pretty legit too.
Haunted.
And true.
Whoa.
It can be haunted by demons. They whispered, "Come here," feeding my cravings, stoking my fear, instead of in my ear. I already said something about darkness, so.
All right, so let's take a look at. We're basically coming out of numbing the pain, drowning my sorrow.
Sorry.
Now,
Drowning sorrows. We don't have to say my.
bottles embrace. I almost like drowning my sorrows in a bottle. Maybe.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how you would rhyme with that.
I don't like it.
No?
Because, yeah, bottle is going to be so hard to rhyme with and make
Yep.
good sense.
Okay, let's leave that line. Sinking solace. We could replace that. Seeking
What about drowning my dark? Let's see what. Where did I see it?
Seeking
Drowning
comfort.
My sorrows in darkness. No, darkness embrace. No.
Well, I opened the song talking about darkness.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just said darkness, so we probably don't want to repeat that word.
seeking
True.
comfort in. I would say this line. A hollow existence, a never-ending chase. I don't like that never-ending race. I like
Right.
chase.
Yeah.
Okay, seeking the sorrows. Seeking drowning my sorrows. Drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace. Drown. Let me get back to my piano here. Let's see.
Drowning my sorrows. Da 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 da. Drowning my sorrows. It's like needs to be. Hold on. Drowning my sorrows.
How about in a bottle's embrace?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually the line. And
Drowning my sorrows.
drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace. That's actually not. That doesn't. Drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace. That you know, honestly, we can.
Drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace.
Let's copy that line, and we can always. The good news here too is that we can always change it later. But we at least seeking.
If it's going to stick with the pattern, it would just be one more line. So I think going straight into a hollow existence, a never-ending chase would be great.
A never end. Okay, a hollow existence. A hollow. A shorter word. A hollow life. A never-ending chase. A hollow, never-ending chase. You know, or maybe a hollow race, a hollow chase, a never-ending race. Or I don't know. Let's see. A hollow face. A hollow space, comma. A hollow. What's another word for cure?
Ask ChatGPT.
Fix, but I don't know if that would rhyme well.
Say it again, Justice.
Like fix?
A hollow fix. It
Huh.
actually doesn't have to rhyme, and that actually.
That's good. Yeah.
Hollow fix, a never-ending chase. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Or how about and since I kind of like that,
I really like that.
we actually go with another fix, another chase, or something like that.
Drowning my sorrows in
Because basically, and again, I don't know about these things, but you can confirm because usually one thing chases to another. So I like the word
a.
chase.
Right. Yeah, me too.
So it's like, you know, you drink something, then you chase it with something else.
Yeah.
And then you eat. So another fix, another chase.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And perhaps put and. Yeah.
A hollow fix and another chase. A hollow fix and another. A hollow fix. Hollow fix and another. Oh wait. A hollow fix and another chase. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. And then you said. Well, there is so. I know what it's like to live in darkness. Had every part of me strapped in a harness. Now we need the second half. Held underwater.
Drown in my sorrows in a bottle.
So maybe some of those earlier lines that we dropped, we can use here. Heading for the falter, something. If there's more things to go with alter, falter.
Head
What were those
underwater.
lines?
Head underwater, moving with falter, avoiding the altar, running from the Father.
And numbing
So numbing the pain actually used to be with the pre-chorus. So it used
Right.
to be running the Father was the end, and then the next line was, let me remember what it was.
Is the lyric numb in the pain or numbing?
Numbing.
Numbing. It was there was a line before numbing the pain, and I would have to listen to your recording again.
Hide in the foot. Was it before that? Oh yes, before that. Hide
Forward in the
behind the footsteps of Cain. No, that's
Head underwater, moving with falter, avoiding the altar, running from the Father. Oh, it was living in pain, or it used to say living in pain and numbing the shame is the lyrics I used to have.
Okay. Living in shame and numbing the pain.
Yeah, no, it was other way around.
Wait, say that again.
It
Numbing the
does.
pain.
It's not supposed to make sense. That was like a artistic.
So say it again. Numbing the
move.
pain and living the. What was
It
that?
was living in pain and numbing the shame.
I love that. Okay. So I think that fits better than running from the Father and numbing the pain. So let's just we're gonna cut that and we're gonna come from here because that might fit great here. Okay. Numbing the shame. So what was the pain line?
Living in pain.
Living in pain and numbing the shame. I like it. Okay, so this part, head underwater, avoiding the altar, living in pain and numbing the shame. I think I like it. Okay. Head underwater, running from the altar, living in pain and numbing the shame. And then that goes into
Drowning my sorrows.
drowning my sorrows.
Bottles and praise.
A hollow fix and another chase. Okay. Running from the Father. Okay,
I don't
good.
know that we can use that anymore because that rhymes with all the before stuff.
But Father and altar are different, I think. They're alike enough in that context, but now that it's separate.
So rhyme more with
Oh, I see what because you did water, head underwater.
water, altar, used to be falter and father. And I know father's kind of, it's a little distant from rhyming, but it worked.
No, it's fine. So running from the avoiding the altar, running from the Father. I did like but
I mean, we can nix that line. I really would not be upset about that.
so a hollow fix and another chase. Now we need da 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 da. Wait, ba da 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 and I'm in. Wait. Ba ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 because I'm thinking that melody might need to do something different too. it just this is kind of what you originally were going for, and I think it actually works. Following behind the footsteps of Cain. Oh, okay.
So let me show you what this was originally supposed to sound like, because I wrote this as a rap. So it was
Right, okay.
not meant to be like a melody like this. So it was, I know what it's like to live in darkness, had every part of me strapped in a harness, head underwater, avoiding the altar, running from the Father. There was another line in there.
Go ahead if we falter.
Oh, yeah. Had every part of me strapped in a harness, head underwater, moving with falter, avoiding the altar, running from the Father, living in pain and numb in the shame, following behind in the footsteps of Cain, cast out to nod, cursing at God. There was another line. Following behind in the footsteps of Cain, cast out to nod. Looking for that's what it was. Cast out to nod, cursing at God. Looking for applaud, broken down and flawed.
Yeah.
Broken down and flawed.
Right.
That was the was the rhythm,
Right.
at least.
Yeah, and it was just the numbers. Like each sequence had, and we had to cut two to make it kind of symmetrical. So melodically, what I'm hearing going into that pre-chorus is that the things now running together like what you were kind of going for before, but now we're ready for it. So the first time it's then it starts over, but this time following behind the footsteps of Cain, cursing out God, broken down and flawed, kind of like that. So it's so
Okay.
it doesn't. So like the first time it ended. So it's kind of like what you were originally going for. We just got to make it fit within a reasonable amount. It can't go on endlessly.
Right.
It has to kind of fit. Following behind the footsteps of Cain, cursing at. Wait, what's the next line there?
Following behind the footsteps of Cain.
Cain.
Cast out to nod,
Cast out to nod,
cursing at God.
Next one.
Like the new one, or what
The-
used to be there?
Is it?
Used-
Does it the broken something about applaud?
Yeah, it used to be looking for applaud, broken down and flawed, but now we just jumped right into broken down and flawed.
Is applaud past tense for applause?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a different word? That
Applaud, yeah, because I think the kids are off of the call now, right?
Oh, okay.
I think they are. But so like, yeah, I was subjected to be in the commercial sex industry, and
Yeah.
it's all based around, getting applause, like looking
I see.
for
It's-
like the ego,
It appeals to your. I'm sure you've seen Sound of Freedom, right?
No, I'm actually really against that movie. I
okay.
know, but we can talk about that another time.
But I mean, that was one thing that they showed is that it's
you are subjected to that in
they appeal to your desire for exposure.
stardom.
Stardom.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So that's what that line is talking about. I know it
Applaud,
kind of
applaud,
seems
yeah.
random, but
no. My only question mark on it is, would people know that that's what you mean? Because I was
No.
thinking APLOD was. I thought that was like, maybe I don't know what applaud is, but because I don't know if maybe even just saying applause, broken down and flawed, applause flawed is not quite the same, but it might.
looking for applause, broken down and flawed. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. It's close
Maybe.
enough.
I mean, it's like, tenses are. I don't know what's more important, rhyming or tenses. I'd have to defer to my good writing buddy David opinion on that one. I don't I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
But we can shelf that. But what we need is a hollow fix and
Something to rhyme with.
so what we got. Fix another chase. Running from the. I'm gonna just write a line because I like running from the. I mean, I'm just gonna say just a word. That's probably not the best word because it's difficult to rhyme. But running from the any complete running from the. Running from the so we need 4 lines like that. Running. I mean, of course, running we dropped, but we need 4 lines. Just need 4 of those. So just come up with that right on the spot.
We can use the word disgrace in a line. I'm just looking for.
In what context of disgrace?
A hollow fix and another chase.
And we don't have
Wait,
to rhyme
so
with that, by the way.
right, that's right, because in the other ones I
We're
did
kinda
not.
done with
Okay.
that. That's yeah.
Yeah,
so we-
yeah. Gotcha. Never mind then. I was about to say running from his grace if we want it to keep that, but
running from his
we don't want it to rhyme if we're being consistent.
face.
Drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace, a hollow fix and another chase. I want to say something about something about flesh, living in flesh, living by the world, because later I talk about I'm not going to do that anymore. Jeff, feel free. Never had to write on the spot.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
exercise. Living by.
I haven't really either.
Flesh is hard to
I
rhyme.
know.
Living.
That's why I'm like, what how could we say that artistically?
Okay. Okay. Let's just do that.
Culture.
Let's see what happens. See what we got. Hiding the truth, avoiding what's real. Those are in pursuit of pleasure. I'd always conceal.
Ooh. Ha! Those lines are good.
Okay, I mean, even if these 2 lines here, hiding the truth, avoiding what's real, in pursuit of pleasure, I'd always conceal, following behind the footsteps of Cain. It fits. It may not be perfect, but this is at least has potential to it. And so we can just kind of earmark it just to get us sort of where we need to be. And what this does, all right, so what we have, drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace, hollow fix it kind of has a like now that we've established a good chunk of the core or the verse, I think I've got some. I'm ready for a kind of a round, which is what that is. It's like a round of. It's kind of like a very nice melodical wheel within a wheel. Are you familiar with that concept?
I get it. I've never heard it before, but that makes sense.
In
to
other
me.
words, it's like it's a spiral. It's just
Yeah.
this never ending. It's never ending thing, but it's like the way we let into it. I think we're ready for it. We weren't ready for it within 4 bars, but now within the context of. So, basically,
What I'm struggling with though is how living in pain and numbing the shame rhymes with following behind in the footsteps of Cain. It feels kind of disjointed and disconnected. Like that line doesn't fit where it's at now.
gotcha. I see.
Do you understand? I don't know.
I do.
So would it make sense to move that down?
Living in.
So instead,
So I mean, like you could even say, playing the game and numbing the shame.
ooh, that's actually extremely relevant.
Really?
It's literally referred to as the game. Yeah, like the life, the game.
Would playing the game be more appropriate or living the game? Because
living the game. Because I definitely wasn't trying to play the
trying
game.
to play it. You weren't trying to play it, right?
The pimps were, but
Yeah,
I was
right,
not.
right.
I was living it. So yeah, that's extremely relevant. That's intense. I like it.
Perfect. Okay, so let me. So this.
But my question, I wasn't really necessarily saying change the words. I don't know if I'm being clear on what I'm trying to say. But maybe like, so I know what it's like to live in darkness, had every part of me strapped in a harness, head underwater, avoiding the altar. Perhaps we put back in, running from the Father, and then drowning my sorrows in a bottle's embrace, a hollow fix and another chase, hiding from the truth, avoiding what's real, in pursuit of pleasure I'd always conceal. And then we can put living the game and numbing the shame, following behind in the footsteps of Cain, cast out denied, cursing at God, broken down and flawed.
So, whoops, I think I just. So, you mentioned putting back in running from the Father. What if we took that line out? Because running from the altar could be interpreted both. I mean, I don't know if that. To me, when I first heard that, I thought you were not wanting to get pinned down by one guy, which may be relevant, but that's
Interesting.
kind of what I thought of. Because running from the altar, I have like
That makes sense.
I
No,
had-
that
I
makes
had-
sense.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
the picture of like the what was that movie of the
Runaway Bride.
Runaway Bride? Yeah, that's the picture that I saw when.
Okay.
So we could put like head underwater, running from the Father.
Yeah.
If that line is more relevant or stronger, then 'cause
Avoiding the
I see
altar.
why you would want to not dump running from the Father. That's a great line.
It's not necessarily that. I just think the living the game and numbing the shame should be bumped down to, I guess, what we would be calling the pre-chorus.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but we'd have to like shift something. Else
Right, and then
out,
we can
right.
put, I don't know, I just feel like those lines need to go with that, but I could be wrong.
I think in your so what probably would be good is let me paste this into the chat. Go ahead and grab it, and why don't you marinate on it a little bit? I think you understand the structure. There we go. I think you understand the structure. Maybe you could just kind of marinate on it a little bit, and let's take another stab at it, because I think nailing down the structure of that verse going into the chorus is going to be huge. It actually makes makes the production and all that part.
How do we feel about the chorus?
I know for sure that I got this
I love it.
I think the chorus is fine. I think the chorus is great.
Okay.
And then we just then again and then now verse 3 does not have to be 8 bars. So I think we already have what we need for verse 3. In other words, verse 3 will go, but we do need to follow the melodic structure. I think you kind of shifted the melody a little bit. It started the same, but then
I
it kind of
did.
drifted. And this is where we go. Pre-chorus. Sure. Does that make sense?
It will. I'm going to go back and listen to that probably 100 times. If that's exactly what you want it to sound like. Don't change it on me.
Well, no. Well, I mean, I think that's structurally what probably is going to fit. Because, again, making all the pieces fit within like a 4-bar, 8-bar, 12-bar framework.
Yeah.
And this is a, you know, it's going to be 8-bar. In this case, it's going to be an 8-bar, well, 4-bar verse and a 4-bar pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus is still, the melody of the pre-chorus is still the same. Wait. Following behind the footsteps of Cain. That's still the same. It's just now in verse 3 is going to be half as big as verse 1, which is fine because it already was. We added to verse 1 to give it more space, which it needed, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Kind of.
What's
I'm being
confusing?
honest. Oh, God, this is new to me. That's all. I'm trying to wrap my head around understanding it.
The only thing to wrap your head around is when you're writing, think about a 4-bar phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. So melodically, that looks like, for instance, verse 3. Second half. That's the phrase.
And then it has to stop and then start over.
Well, not on verse 3. Verse 1 and 2, we did that.
Okay.
Verse
And
1
then
and 2, yes. But in this case, and because, well, part of the challenge is you're writing very complex. So we have to, so you've kind of gone really deep into your writing. We just have to, like, so there's times when you have to expand and there's times you have to rein in. So,
Sure.
yeah, so we reined in a couple things and we expanded where it needs to be expanded. The big thing, you're closer than you think now. I think structurally we've got a good verse, chorus, pre-chorus, we've got a good verse 1, pre-chorus, and chorus structurally. If it would help you, I can hum that melody again to kind of get a framework. Would that help if I just hummed it?
Yes.
Okay, verse 1. I know what it feels to live in darkness. Pre-chorus. Coming behind in the footsteps of Cain. La 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 la. for sure. Oh my God, it's beautiful, holy, pure. So chorus is great. We don't even need to touch the
And
chorus.
so after chorus, are we
Then-
just doing one more verse?
One more verse. Well, we're doing one more verse, but this one doesn't have to be as long as the first verse. This one's going to be like this. Here's pre-chorus. And the first steps are key. Broken down. Sort of makes sense?
It does make sense.
Okay.
I'm just going to have to.
Go back and we'll
Yeah.
we'll make progress. We'll make progress. But we made great progress tonight. You got all those lyrics?
Yes, I grabbed them.
Okay. Now again, once we get that, and then obviously, what I'm gonna do is try to match the production of that, so that when you go to record it. So do you work on the lyrics? I'm gonna work on the production offline, and then we can put the two together. Cool.
Okay. Sounds
All right.
good.
Awesome. Sweet. It's
One
gonna
more
be great.
question. So
Yes.
no bridge. This is way too long for a bridge, right?
No, we can have a bridge. The bridge.
Really?
The bridge is the thing. See, the problem before. The problem before is that you introduced the bridge right after the first chorus.
Right. Now I have it at the very end.
Yes, you can
just
have it.
to
Yes,
go
absolutely.
out.
Yes, no, you can
Okay.
totally do a bridge.
I don't know if I really like it anyway.
Well, you might. You might not.
I'm
But-
starting to hate it all.
No, don't hate it.
Throwing it all away.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It gets better. It gets better. Writing is a journey.
I know.
It's
it is.
this Rubik's cube of, and I heard an engineer I've been following. He's an old school engineer, but he was the guy that actually mixed all the Michael Jackson stuff from the 80s, like Thriller, Beat It, all that stuff.
Nice.
And what his philosophy, I don't agree with him on everything. I mean, he's awesome, so he's probably better than I could. So what right do I have to disagree on anything? But one thing that he says that I do really identify with, because he talks in a way that music engineers or recording engineers don't talk, because most of them are all about the technical stuff, the tools, but he basically says you have to follow the music, and you have to try to find what moves you. So, like, for instance, I don't know much about your song. I don't know much about your journey. I'm inclined and I'm inspired by it, but musically, you have to always go after what moves you and what feels right. And that's not always easy to find, and it's a process. But if it doesn't move you, if it's not moving you the way you want it to, then that's an indication, okay, it's time to scrap it or move on or adjust. But that's always the goal with every line of the song, to make it move you in some way. And your song is doing that. There's probably still a few distractions that we want to identify, and that's only
Yeah.
going to happen with time.
Okay.
And that's just a process. And it's like giving birth. It's a messy process sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's going to be worth it. I promise. Everybody else,
Thank you.
unmute your microphones. Does anybody have any thoughts? I know you're kind of like contributing flies on the wall, because I know you guys have some really good insights along the way. Anybody have any closing thoughts or things that were interesting as we kind of embarked on this little experiment of writing in real time?
Yeah, I'm not used to writing in real time.
Little nerve wracking.
Yeah, it's different.
It's a great practice. In fact, you get used to it, and that's when, because really when we do it together, there's going to be somebody that sees something and hears something that somebody else doesn't, and there's going to be, so that synergy is really, really good. But
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say much because I've experienced drug stuff and all that, but this is something that's personal with her, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to say too much.
Oh no, I'm one of those people that is very open.
Yeah.
I've sat down and I'm used to real time stuff, poetry. I can write poetry off the top of my head like that. Songwriting is a whole different animal, so I'm genuinely open to suggestions and thoughts, like genuinely.
And I think
I mean that.
I think when it comes to writing too, we have to overcome the fear of like holding someone's baby. Because that's kind of what it's
Right.
like. And
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be willing to let, I mean, you've been around those people that's like, no one holds my baby but me. No one talks to my baby but me. And you get it because everybody has that tendency or like real choosy. But there's also a lot to be said about that mom that just says, oh, you hold her, because just like babies are products for community and products for family and community and I mean, obviously safe environments. I'm not just saying give it to anybody, but in those safe environments, I think overcoming our fear of, because the worst thing that can happen is you have a bad idea, and I have had so many bad ideas.
Yeah, me too.
And it's okay. Bad ideas are okay. In fact, you have to embrace them if you're going to write.
Yeah.
You have to embrace bad ideas because we're mining for the good idea. Not everything that comes out of our mouths are good ideas. We have to be willing to
Get it wrong a
to get it
million
wrong
times.
as many times as necessary in order to get it right, because we'll know when it's right. That's the thing. When we get it right, we'll know it. And
Agreed.
that's what we're shooting for. We're waiting
Yeah.
in the darkness. All right, guys, I'm going to pray us out. And again, way late tonight, and I'm so sorry again, but I hope this was fun and enlightening and useful for you guys. But we're going to keep working on it. But let me pray for you guys. And if you would stick, if you have a couple minutes, Angela, I'd love to stick back and pick your thoughts, because I was curious
Okay.
about what you said before. But God, I just ask you to bless us and keep us on this path of progress. Lord, thank you to Angela for being willing to share her song and being open to thoughts and ideas. And Lord, we just ask that whatever you want this song to be, that you will use all of us to help bring it into the light and bring it to the light of day. And so, Lord, we give you thanks and praise for that. I ask you to bless everybody until I see them again next. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I will see you guys on Monday. I'll see you guys on Monday. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them now.
It's just me
Otherwise-
and Jeff now.
Oh, okay.
The others want
Yeah.
to.
All right.
Could I ask you a question, Clay?
Absolutely.
So the last song of mine that I sang I guess Monday, I'm thinking about sending it to Gateway, to their song submission.
Always send it. Always send it to Gateway. But I would say always send it. Always be willing to do that if you can release it and not be, because I know Gateway can be a painful process for some people, because it can feel not intended, but it can feel impersonal, or and just to give you an idea, I mean, I have submitted many songs over the years, and I think I've gotten one through. So it's just one of those things. I think it's a great idea always to get your stuff out there, always. And honestly, you might want to, have you ever looked into, I think they actually host songwriting workshops. Have you ever attended any of those?
Yeah, I've gone to some of the meetings, but actually Mark Harris?
Yeah.
Mark Harris had sent me because I sent him some stuff, and he said that he would like to make me a part of the
Oh, wonderful. Follow up.
songwriting group. But this was like 2 years ago.
But
and
follow up with, but yeah,
I've never heard anything back from him. So
well, but he's one of those that you've got to keep knocking on that door. If he invited you and wanted you to be a part, that's legit. He wouldn't invite you if and with Gateway, you've got to. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I will set a meeting, and sometimes it's a year before I get that meeting. So you do have to be a little relentless. It's worth pursuing. It's worth pursuing, because I think your writing has a lot of merit to it, and I think that honestly, you getting involved in some collabs, I think could be a really good thing for you.
okay, and one more quick question.
Yep.
So I start in middle C and I go down on this song, but then on the higher parts, I'm just not real familiar because I'm used to guitar. So
Right.
can you go up as the vocal goes higher? Can you go up above middle C even though
Of course.
that's like 2 octaves though? You're getting into the second octave. Is that all okay or
Of course.
okay?
I mean, so you've got songs like
Like middle C, and then I
Oh
go
God,
down.
my God, I need you. That is, well, that's D flat above middle C. Higher, 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 higher. Oops, absolutely, you can go above
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was just curious.
And you actually need to be leaning into above middle C for
Right,
sure.
for my voice.
Now, were you asking from a perspective of worship? Because there used to be a perspective of worship shouldn't go higher than a certain note, but we have finally done away with that horrible perspective.
Okay.
You have to write the music to where it feels right emotionally.
Okay.
And there are some keys, like if you write a song and then you go down, it doesn't have the same emotional impact. So write the melody to where it feels right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just curious. This is why I
Yeah.
need piano lessons.
There you go. I know a guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, y'all have a good weekend.